the Bedford County Regional Planning Commission unanimously recommended the rezoning from A1 to C1 of the property identified as Bedford County Tax Map 48, Parcel 33.01, known more specifically by its 911 address of 2640 Highway 41A North, Shelbyville, owned by Cesar Diaz and Jim Panagua. Forgive me for I messed that up. The intent is to use the property to allow a grading and excavating business, office, and parking/storage of construction equipment. Now, this was placed on the agenda for the Rules and Legislative Committee after the Planning Commission had a favorable recommendation, and they had a favorable recommendation, sending it to the commission. So before that could be dealt with in the actual commission meeting, we're required to have a public hearing. That's what the purpose of this time is. If there's anyone in the audience that would want to speak for or against this rezoning issue, and this is strictly what the public hearing, this is not public comment, public hearing is for, is this matter. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak regarding it? Okay, I don't hear any and I don't see any, so if you will stand, we'll call the meeting to order, and we'll be led in prayer by Commissioner Mark Thomas.
Let us pray. Our most gracious and kind Heavenly Father, Father, we just ask that your Holy Spirit rain down on us tonight. Bless us with your grace and mercy. Father, we just ask that you go with each and every one of us here tonight and lead us and guide us and direct us in everything that we do. Father, I just want to say thank you to the veterans that have served our country and fought for the very freedom that we enjoy in this country today. Father, we just ask that you be with this whole world, Father, as it seems to be in turmoil at this time. And Father, most of all, we want to give thanks to Jesus, our Lord and Savior. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
If you would join me in the pledge. All right, if you'll stay in, the sheriff will open the meeting. Austin Swing.
Okay, hear ye. The Bedford County Board of Commissioners is now in session. The Honorable Mayor, Chad Graham, is presiding.
Thank you. Be seated. All right, so we have quite a few people in the audience tonight. We're glad to see you. I know there's folks running for office, so good luck and congratulations to those that have won in the primaries. And so we'll get started with roll call from our County Clerk, Donna Thomas.
Commissioner Anderson?
Here.
Commissioner Boutwell?
Here.
Commissioner Boyette?
Here.
Commissioner Brothers?
Here.
Commissioner Davis?
Here.
Commissioner Epperson?
Here.
Commissioner Farrer?
Here.
Commissioner Hooker?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Maddox?
Here.
Commissioner Neely?
Here.
Commissioner Pinson?
Here.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Adam Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Mark Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
Commissioner Vick?
Here.
Commissioner Yockey? 18 present, 0 absent.
All right, before we go to the minutes, I got a little bit of a housekeeping issue. We updated our software that manages our agenda, and I did not catch it in advance of the meeting tonight, but there was 2 items that were inadvertently left off under the Rules and Legislative Committee section. One is the bridge naming for Stanley Smotherman of Halls Mill Bridge, and the second one is the actual rezoning vote associated with the public hearing we just had. I've spoken to some of the commissioners prior to this. We really would need to suspend the rules to add it if that's acceptable, or it would need to go on next month's agenda if you did not feel comfortable suspending the rules. For both of these issues went through committee and were not controversial. Okay, we've got a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Is there any objection or comment anybody wants to make? So are we all in favor to, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so is it acceptable to add those 2 items under Rules and Legislative? Okay, so do we need another motion for that, or is our motion to suspend acceptable? Okay, everybody understands what we're doing? All right, first item is approval of the minutes from the April 14th commission meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion second. Any questions or issues there? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're ready for public comment. Now, public comment is open to the public. Anybody in the audience that would want to speak on a matter related to this body? Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak? Okay, I don't hear any or see any. We'll move on. First item is election of the notaries from the June 9th
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then on the Board of Equalization, I had one slot that I did not have a name for last month, and so now they have notified me that Scott Leonard is willing to serve. That's acceptable to this body.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you for that. And then we've got a quick presentation. We've got our United Communication folks here with us tonight. The CEO, William Bradford, is here, and some of his team. He can introduce them as they come up to be with him. They're going to do just a quick overview here of what we've been able to get done through broadband and their communication network and how they've been committed to Bedford and seeing us actually be next gen. So let them talk about that.
We have to press this to talk, right? I just want to make sure.
Want me to hold it?
It's great to be here 2 years later. 2 years ago, we started a program called Connect Bedford, and it was a group of citizens that met and did a survey across Bedford County. And we're going to give you a wonderful update tonight about where we are, and not only where we are, but where we're going next. Oops. So you'll hear the term called digital divide. Bedford County, like I said, we did a survey, and what we found was we were tremendously underserved, and that means people who had Wi-Fi, or had broadband at that time, weren't able to use it to the best of their ability. And we had about 76% of people who did not have any service and were relying on their cell phones for access. Some of the comments that we heard at that point in time were, I have principals and I have students that are right around the corner from schools that don't have access to the tools and the curriculum they need for virtual schooling, if you think of what that was doing 2 years ago. We have farmers who are buying ag equipment that is heavily tech-related now and has all these tools for Wi-Fi, but they didn't have Wi-Fi access to use those tools. And then we had a lot of community services, if you think of community clinic or a veterans office downstairs, who have access or could have access to Wi-Fi and broadband services, but they didn't have the right networking in place, nor did they have the right facilities. So our group worked together, put together a plan, and then we have been partnered with United Communications, and they're going to give a great update here. But let me go to the next slide. Oops. So that group formed a group called Connect Bedford, and Connect Bedford has seen this through, and through that partnership, we're now able to share with you guys that we are soon to be a gig-certified county, wonderful, as well as we have a new broadband readiness grant that'll be coming soon, and that grant will be providing those healthcare services in the community clinic, the veterans office, as well as out at the Ag Center. So not only are we building the infrastructure in partnership, now we're trying to enable and give everyone access to it.
Great. Oops, did that the wrong way? Get me to that next one. Well, real quick, my name is William Bradford. I'm the CEO of United Communications.
James Wright, CEO of Duck River.
And like Tracy mentioned, Bedford County has gone from one of the most underconnected counties in the state of Tennessee to now we're going to celebrate tonight that it's a certified 8 gig community, meaning we have, thank you, the fastest internet available to over 70% of the county now, and we're still going. So we wanted to give you an update tonight because it's such a unique story of what happened when leaders in the community, county commissioners, formed this Connect Bedford organization, when the county mayor and the county commission prioritized using some of your federal ARPA funds to attract infrastructure investment into the county, and when 2 local companies came together to invest over $30 million in the county to see it go from among the worst to among the best in the state of Tennessee. And we're really, really proud to serve this county and this community. Real quick, James.
So Bedford County is kind of home to Duck River. As we know, our headquarters is just right down the street. We have over 14,000 member owners in Bedford County, and so we certainly appreciate all of our member owners. We are owned by the members we serve. So we are all about making life better in the communities in which we serve, and approximately 17% of our members live in Bedford County. So we are incredibly excited to partner with United and erase the digital divide that was here in Bedford County.
So when you think about it, you know, when some of you in this room came to us even longer than 2 years ago, really 5 and 6 years ago, with the dream to see this infrastructure investment, you know, Commissioner Vick was one of the leaders of this.
There was nothing here. And when you think about Duck River had great relationships with its members, had this pole infrastructure, we had the internet know-how being headquartered in Chapel Hill just across the county line, and we worked together to serve the community and bring internet at a time when they needed it most. We're really proud. One thing I like to remind people now, these two companies that are here in Marshall and Bedford County have invested over $600 million in their combined broadband and electric infrastructure and employ over 400 local employees. So we are committed to these communities, and we like to joke, once you build a network, you can't move it. And so we're blessed to serve such amazing communities that are thriving, and appreciate what you do in this room to make this a better place to work and live. So we'll move quick. As we said, the county, if y'all remember from the minutes probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago even, the county used $700,000 of its ARPA funds to provide matching funds to a state grant program. And as a result of that, over $30 million has now been invested in broadband, fiber optic broadband infrastructure in the county. So it's a great example of where a public partnership has attracted, 40-to-1 kind of private investment. And so we're proud to be a part of that. Governor Lee came and celebrated it a couple years ago to kick off the project. But like any infrastructure project, it takes a few years to get done. So you've probably seen our teams out there working really, really hard the last year, and many of you have welcomed our teammates into your home. We thank you for that. But now we're here to celebrate the fact that over 11,000 homes now have access to fiber optic internet. And we're another 1,800, if you hit the next slide, another 1,800. We can send this around, but over 11,000 homes served, 1,800 under active construction that will be finishing up primarily this summer. So we're really excited. We've been really well welcomed in the community. As you heard from James, we're invested in these communities, and three of the things that we do from the broadband standpoint: all volunteer fire departments get free internet service in our communities. We really want to serve the volunteers that serve us. The Boys and Girls Club get free 8 gig internet. And I got one more on there. Oh, it didn't make it in the updated slides. But really giving back to the community, investing in the community. Oh, and we do free public Wi-Fi on the square right here to support the events and the businesses that you host here. And it's amazing how many transactions are required to run over Wi-Fi now when your vendors are hosting events. So again, we'll send this around, but the lines here are sort of where we're finishing up. We're finishing up our network going in the southern part of the county, crossing the county, and then connecting back up into Rutherford County. So those fiber optic projects and about 1,800 homes and businesses off those lines will be the final projects here in 2026. So we're really proud. If you see our crews, don't hesitate. They love it when you come up and ask them questions, but more to come with that. Again, we talked about it, 8 gig. People don't really know what that is. If you remember, you're probably buying internet service in megabits, and a lot of people had 20 meg, 50 meg. This is 8,000 megabits that people can get, business, residential. So most homes now in Bedford County have faster internet than most businesses in Davidson County, and we're really proud to bring the latest fiber technology to this community. And we care about customer service. I always put this up here because you guys hear from your constituents. We hear from our members and customers every day. We survey our customers in Bedford County every year on their anniversary date, and every time they have an interaction with one of our teammates, and they're telling us they love what we've done in the county. We can't even benchmark ourselves against the AT&Ts and Comcast and Charters of the world. They're in negative territory. We're up in Ritz-Carlton, Disney kind of benchmarking, and we're proud to represent the community. And that's because we've got 400 local employees that are serving their neighbors, and we take a lot of pride in that. With that, Mayor, Commissioners, we want to give you a quick token of our appreciation, officially certifying, after many years of hard work in this room and by our collective employees, that Bedford County is now an 8 gig certified community.
Y'all are posing. I just want to say I have United, and they are awesome. So I really appreciate everything y'all did.
All right, great. That's a wonderful presentation. While they're getting back to their seat, let me just quickly say there was certainly a lot of people in this room, and this commission supported us investing toward broadband. I had some vision when I was running, but I had no concept of what I was talking about. And then when COVID hit, it really shined light on why connectivity was so important. And it lit a fire under them whenever those ARPA funds came along, and having someone so close to home that's literally our neighbor right down the road really made Bedford a great place for them to shine and show what they can do, and we got the benefits of it, and that investment, return on investment, is as good as it gets. So thank you guys for what you've done, and thank you for the commission standing by us while we made those, because this was an investment really started many years ago. And so we have instant gratification, but we don't always get it. But we got it now. So thank y'all so much. All right, next item on the agenda, under resolutions, we had a resolution for the Highway Department for a capital outlay resolution. We need to withdraw that due to there's a restructuring way that comptroller and audit would want that done through the budget process, so we will work on that. So we just need to withdraw that. Is that acceptable to everybody? And they understand what we're doing? Okay. All right, so the next item is now under rules and legislative. So let's start with the bridge naming, and then we'll go to the other two items on there. So we had placed on the agenda by the Rules and Legislative Committee with their recommendation to rename Halls Mill Bridge in honor of a memory of Stanley Smotherman. His wife's in the audience tonight as well. Of course, we all know Stanley. I've been really just a tremendous asset to the county all this time, and so I think this is a great honor. I know the Rules Committee handled this, and I know the commissioners that were represent that district were in full support of that. So we just need to now formally make it official that that bridge will be named the Stanley Smotherman Bridge.
Motion to approve.
Second.
A bunch of them. I'm not sure who it was. You got it? Okay. Any other comments? Or all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, thank you. All right. Next, let's do if this is acceptable, the rezoning. So I'm going to have to, I'm just going to reread what the public notice was because that's the actual action. So on February the 24th, 2026, the Bedford County Regional Planning Commission unanimously recommended the rezoning from A1 to C1 of the property identified on Bedford County Tax Map 48, parcel 33.01, known specifically as 911 address 2640 Highway 41A North, Shelbyville, Tennessee, owned by Cesar Diaz and Jim Panagua. I might get better at this at some point. The intention use of the property is to allow for a grading and excavation business, office, and parking/storage of construction equipment. Again, this went through the Planning Commission with a favorable recommendation, as well as the Rules and Legislative Committee with a favorable recommendation.
Move to approve.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. We're open for discussion now regarding this. Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now, the next item, and it is actually on the agenda like it should be, is the Senior Property Tax Freeze Program.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hooker.
Yeah, I make a motion that we adopt the resolution establishing a senior citizens property tax freeze for qualifying senior citizens with an annual income level not exceeding $43,780 as presented.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve it with the 43,000, whatever the number was you said for the
780.
income. Okay, so we're open for discussion. Okay, is there any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, Commissioner Neely.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify a few points of this as we're moving forward, because there has been a little bit of, I think, some confusion between the tax relief and the tax freeze, and I'm not sure who can answer these questions. But on tax relief, we currently have about 500, I think, residents. It's low income, it's disabled, it's veterans, and we're matching what the state is doing for that program, and that's correct?
For the low-income elderly, we don't do the disabled or the veterans. Those are other options in that program, but Bedford is only doing the low-income elderly.
For the match, but those
Correct.
others do receive.
Correct, from the
The one-
state.
okay.
That's right.
Okay, and then when we talk about the freeze, we have this income limit of the $43,780, And that limit is set by the comptroller's office, if I understood correctly. It's done on a county-by-county basis, set by our median income. Is that correct?
I believe that's right. And is that the same number as the relief, or is it lower than the 43? It's a set number as well. It's a lower
Relief is
number.
lower. Relief was lower than the freeze, but the freeze, from what I researched, is set on the median income for Bedford County. Okay, and I know there's been some concern with how much I think it's going to cost to implement the program. Personally, I don't think it's going to be the $150,000 to do that. Another question, in the request from the assessor's office, they had 2 employees and a fourth of a truck. Were one of those employees going toward the implementation of the tax freeze?
One of the 2 and a fourth of the truck per Rhonda, when she was still the assessor, is what made the 75. I guess it's about 50-something, and then a quarter of the value of the truck made the 74. She is asking for an additional position that's not related to the tax freeze if it was to pass.
Okay, if that were the case and she was doing 75, which included a fourth of a truck, then it would automatically be a little bit less, because on the trustee side, they had 75,000, but initial in the paperwork we saw was 55,000 based on a salary of 41,600 plus all of the benefits and $1,000 for postage.
Correct. Now, she's not able to be here tonight. She talked to me on the phone and said those numbers were from 2018 or 19. But still, yes, that number is some lower, but there's some question about what else is involved in administering it. You certainly can make that number whatever you want it to be, but you will, if you implement it, you'll have to pay whatever it costs. So we don't want to lowball that number. Commissioner Boutwell.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. As a senior citizen and a fiscal conservative, I want to ensure that not only those seniors that qualify for this tax freeze are not adversely impacted, but also those seniors not qualifying that for the freeze are minimally, we want to ensure that they're not impacted as well by increased taxes. And so I think a conservative budget process needs to be used in planning any future county expenditures, and not a back-of-the-envelope approach that I witnessed. Even though I wasn't there, I watched the video that I witnessed at the last Finance Committee meeting. So with that, I think decisions should not be made in the heat of the moment. Therefore, I move to amend the motion on the floor that the tax freeze proposal be referred to the Finance Committee with the following recommendations. The Finance Director produce a fiscal note on the expense to the taxpayers to implement this plan at the May Finance Committee meeting. The Finance Committee specifically discusses the fiscal note as an agenda item at the May Finance Committee meeting, and that the Finance Committee recommendation be made part of the budget hearing process as we develop our upcoming 2026-27 budget. You know, I think we have time. I don't think there's going to be a situation where a senior is going to be, particularly a senior that falls within the tax freeze program, is going to be impacted this year, won't be, and probably won't even be impacted next year. So I think we need to take our time and carefully consider what we are doing here and do it correctly.
Second.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second. And we already have a motion on the floor to approve it. So are you willing to accept that amendment?
No, sir.
Okay. So we are going to need to vote on the amendment, and then if that fails, Commissioner Maddox.
I just want to start by saying that this program is near and dear to a lot of folks, and there's been a lot of feedback in the community, and a lot of folks have voiced their opinion on it. It seems that it's overwhelming that folks want to do the right thing, what they would say is the right thing, and take care of our seniors. This program is designed to help the most vulnerable of our community, and those people are people that want to help themselves, and for years they've done just that, and they've helped not only themselves, but they've helped a lot of folks in this room build this county into what it is today. And I feel like it's time that we give back to them. This program is not something that we just sprung on this body on the last minute. I do respect the Commissioner's Batwell. I respect Commissioner Batwell's opinion, and I also respect the thought process. But we've studied this for 3 months. We've studied this for 3 months with a dedicated study group. And the information has been shared with the commission, it's been shared abroad, and it's been made available to the public. I feel that some of the most vulnerable, again, are worried, and they go year to year worrying about if they're going to be able to keep their home. And this freeze would offer a long-term solution and a peace of mind and a protection for seniors that would qualify, most living on fixed incomes. And I've heard the story, well, no one's lost their home yet. Well, that may be the case. But a lot of these folks haven't lost their home simply because they're frugal with their money. And I will say that they're probably more frugal than government, and that's the reason why they haven't lost their home. Folks, 63 other government agencies, bodies, have adopted this resolution, including our neighbors in Rutherford, including our neighbors Sumner, Williamson County, many others. So my question is, why would Bedford County not want to adopt this? We are financially healthy to make this happen. Is it not a priority? These seniors deserve long-term reassurance, the dignity and an ability to keep their home. I don't understand how we can put a price tag on something like this. Are they not worth it? What about them? I'll yield back.
Let me get Scott, and then I'll go to Commissioner Johnson.
You know, I think the issue here, and I said this during the finance meeting, I do believe the vast majority on this commission want to vote for this. They just want to do it in a fiscally due diligence manner. You could see we even have disagreement tonight on how much money it's going to cost. So I think Commissioner Boutwell's amendment is, and he made it for May, so it's right away. It'll be before anything would ever kick in. So I really want to vote for this, but I'd have to pass tonight if we're not going to do our due diligence fiscally on getting the right numbers down. And that means going through the Finance Committee. That's just part of the process. So I yield back.
All right, I need to go to Commissioner Anderson. I believe and then I'll come to you after everybody else is. Okay.
I'm probably the most conservative when it comes to money in this room, probably, and I don't like spending money either. But we sit here and we're concerned with cost. I'm concerned with cost, sure. But for the last 12 years that I've been here, we go get the mortgage before we know what the building costs. And this is repeatedly on all sorts of things over the last 12 years. We go borrow the money before we find out what the cost is. The cost here doesn't look like it's that much on the aggregate of a budget. And I'd have to agree with Commissioner Maddox here that I think it's the right thing to do. And not only these seniors, these are our at-risk seniors. Any way we can help them, we need to. Thank you.
Okay, and now Commissioner Neely.
Well, I appreciate Commissioner Boutwell's thought process. I sat through the finance meeting. At no point did any of the commissioners nor mayor that had this information early on offer any type of consideration, idea, or anything of how to finance this. And for me, I'm concerned it won't happen this time either, and we'll continue to kick it. Now, there are things in our budget that a lot of us have not cared for, and it was take it or leave it. And we all know what some of those are. We know. And I don't think we're asking for too much money. There is a line item already in the budget with nearly $400,000 that's for employees in case there are adjustments to salaries and other things. There's twice what we need right there. Then once it's implemented and the trustee's office and assessor see what they have to do a cost study. Maybe they don't need the person. Maybe they need a part-time. Maybe they need to rearrange hours. But I don't see why we continue to kick this. If we do, we're going to end up with a tax increase. We know it's coming sooner or later, and we're going to leave these people behind. We are. And now is the time to do it. And as far as this, well, we're going to spread the burden to anybody else. No, we're not. And we don't have to. When we do budget, we have a projected income of what we're going to get off of property tax. For no more than this is, we can account for it, and there's not a single person in this county that should have to pay more because we're giving a few seniors. Could any of you live on $43,000 a year? Could you? Let's think about that. For me, I support this whether anybody else wants to or not.
Commissioner Boutwell.
I support the senior tax freeze. That's not the question for me. Mine is just, I listened to the committee meeting, and it was just on the back of the envelope discussion of what it's going to cost. And I just want the budget to be properly done. That's all I'm asking. And maybe we've done some things in the past where we should, but that doesn't make this right, and we should do better with everything that we do budget-wise. So, and I dare say, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm almost certain there's not going to be a tax increase this year. I'd be willing to put a little Coca-Cola on it.
There you go.
So no senior is going to get hurt this year by a tax increase. So if we take one more month, I don't think we're going to delay the thing and kick the can down the road to year after year after year. I don't think that's going to happen either. I'm just asking for it to be properly budgeted, and let's determine what the costs are, because however much money this takes may affect other things. And I just want everybody to have a clear understanding before we move forward. And if we've done things wrong in the past, as Brother Anderson has talked about, we need to correct those too.
Quick, mine will be super fast if I can.
Okay.
Super fast to this. I agree with you about the tax increase. Let's all in this room, you get your appraisal back and we see what that tax increase is. You're fixing to get one, whether we pass one or not. I'm just going to set the record straight on that. Just wait and see if your taxes don't go up this year.
All right. Now, for the record, the state resets the tax rate. So, yeah. Yes.
Well, yeah, does the appraisal went up, but you set the tax rate back down where it's neutral, and that's by state law. So we would still have to vote as this body whether or not to increase taxes. And I just really personally believe that this body this year is not going to vote for any tax increase.
Understood. Commissioner Hooker.
Yeah, I just want to take a minute and talk about what this really is. A senior citizen's tax freeze is really about dignity, and it's about stability for some of the most vulnerable people in this community. These are our elderly citizens that have built this community. We have come into here tonight to talk about something that might impact someone tremendously that might not necessarily impact us. And so in our January 20th Rules and Legislative meeting, I believe that the quiet part was really said out loud, why most people might not in this, or some people in this room might not support this. When it was said that there was concerns raised about freezing taxes for seniors, the statement was made that doing so would tie the hands of this legislative body in the future because it might limit the ability to collect additional revenue in the future. And unfortunately, if you really think about what that means is that it means some people are more concerned about protecting future tax revenue than protecting seniors on fixed income. And so I fundamentally disagree with that mindset, because what we have to do is we have to look at how we can help each individual citizen. In this case, we have a little over 700 people that we can directly impact and can save them in the future. Now, we may talk about we might not get a tax increase this year, but again, if you do the numbers, a lot of times you might even get some tax increase even in the reappraisal that's reset. And so not only does it freeze it from tax increases, it also freezes it from reappraisals in the future. We just have to be able to look at this as a whole, and we have to be able to find out, are we going to be the county that says, thank you for a lifetime of work, and now you're on your own? Or we want to be the county that stands up and says, we will protect you, we'll value you, and we will make sure that you can remain in your home that you work for your entire life. This issue goes beyond dollars and cents. It goes into a widow trying to stay in their only home that they may have only ever known, a retired couple stretching every dollar just to survive. Every communities across Tennessee have already stepped up to protect the seniors. Bedford County should not lag behind. We should lead. I understand and respect Commissioner Boutwell, but unfortunately, we've been studying this the last 3.5 months, and we have talked about it. I understand Finance had the opportunity to go through that and give us specific numbers. They chose not to. And so delaying it another month is basically saying no, that you don't support this. I know you might not, it may not come out that way, but I do believe that. And I just urge your support in the senior citizens property tax freeze, because this is to protect the people who protected and built Bedford County long before most of us held this office.
Commissioner Vick.
Mr. Chairman, we have listened to the argument, but it all boils down to one thing, and that is, who's going to pay for this and how much does it cost? And through this 3.5 months of questions and answers, we still don't know how much it's going to cost. We can't tell the taxpayer. This money is coming out of your pocket, and we don't know how much it's going to cost. It could be this amount. It could be that amount. We don't know. And all this amendment is doing is sending it to the finance director to get a fiscal note so that we have a solid number that we will know what it's going to cost. All the rest of this is just noise. We don't know what the program is going to cost, and therefore, how can we possibly vote yes on this? So all we're asking to do in this amendment is vote yes, send it back to Finance so Finance can give us a number and we can decide which is. There might be another option. There might be several options. We don't know. But send it back to Finance, let them put the fiscal note to it, put the numbers down, and we can discuss it. And that's all it is. Thank you.
And again, I don't think anybody's questioning the need for the tax freeze. I'm all for it. I think everybody that spoke tonight is all for the tax freeze. We just want to do it in a fiscally responsible way.
Commissioner Epperson.
I had a question on Commissioner Boutwell's amendment. When you sent it to the May Finance and then back on the June agenda, would that be for the regular commission meeting in June or the budget special call meeting?
We could make it for the June meeting if you want. I have no objection to that.
Talking about the June commission meeting is
Yeah,
what
the next meeting, yes.
The budget.
Okay. Yeah, of course, Budget Committee couldn't act anyway. They could just make a recommendation back to, so it would need to come back. If that's the path, it should come back here. Commissioner Hooker.
Yeah, Mr. Boutwell, just to confirm your amendment, while it will go back to rules to get, or I'm sorry, if it'll go back to Finance to get a fiscal note, basically, for them to send that back, and in your amendment, it would also come back to this body with either a recommendation for or against from Finance. Is that correct?
Yes, I will agree to that, yes.
And a dollar amount. You're going to, I mean, or you're going to be right back in the same argument.
Well, that's where the fiscal note comes in. But again, would you also accept a friendly amendment that it also goes to rules so they can discuss it as well?
Well, I don't really know what rules had it.
I'll pull it back because the rules chairman's giving me a head shake.
Well, I was going to say, if you do that, then it's going to delay it another month because they will have met first.
I mean, I don't want to, we want seniors to have this.
Yeah,
Believe me,
Okay, so are we ready to vote on the amendment? And we need to clarify the amendment, but let me let Commissioner Neely say something right quick.
Here's my thought at this point. We're worried about the physical note, and we already know there's places in the budget that there is some funding. We don't need the money until next year. Budget is right around the corner. If we pass this tonight and said, would you please put this in your budget, then there's a way to fix it at the end of June through the budget process, and then the money comes forward in the 26-27 budget. There's funding in different places that it can be taken for. I already have a suggestion, but I'll refrain right now from saying that one. And just move forward that way. We just keep kicking it back and forth, and we all know that the employee is going to have to be in place probably if these people need an employee. Then starting as soon as those tax cards hit in October, then people are going to have to qualify. They're going to have to bring in their documents for their income and show and prove what they have. We already know there's an additional approximately 200 people that they'll have to see. The 500, a portion of that will have to be certified with a new application. For me, I'm having a hard time figuring out how we kick this down the road. Now, I understand some are saying, well, we need to do it the right way, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but we haven't always done it the right way, and we haven't done it the right way with a lot more money than what we're talking about here.
Call for the question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we're ready to vote, but let me, can you probably should read the amendment because we monkeyed with that a little bit. Are we in agreement? Let's make sure that we understand whether you agree with the amendment or not, but it kind of got moved around. So, all right, do you want to read to us what you want it to be, or?
I'll do my best. Of course, I'm a senior citizen. You'll have to bear with me. The tax-free proposal is to be referred to the Finance Committee with the following recommendations. The Finance Director produce a fiscal note on the expense to the taxpayers to implement this plan at the May Finance Committee meeting. The Finance Committee specifically discussed the fiscal note as an agenda item at the May Finance Committee meeting. And then we're going to add, and the recommendation from the Finance Committee will be on the June Commission agenda. You agree to that? And then we can also say the Finance Committee recommendations be part of the budget hearing process as we develop our upcoming 26-27 budget.
Okay, Commissioner Hooker, you?
No, I believe we need to vote on it, so I'm rejecting the amendment, so we'll need to vote on it.
I thought that's what he'd said earlier, too, but he rejected it as well early on.
Okay, so we're voting on the amendment. So the amendment then is straight up what he read originally. Do you agree with that? Or what he just read?
It's a resolution.
Mr. Chairman, I believe a yes vote on this for Commissioner Boutwell's recommendation to send it back to Finance. A no vote is to go back to the original.
Yeah, I agree with that, but they tweaked his amendment, and so I just want to make clear there was discussion of then saying we'll make it go back to the commission. Everybody understand that's part of the amendment, Commissioner Anderson?
Well, what I don't understand is the resolution was out here first, okay? That had the forward and the second, and now with the amendment, I don't think the amendment's been approved. I heard Commissioner Hooker say he didn't approve it 2 times.
Yeah, we'll have to vote on it, but we was having discussion, and so
we should vote on the resolution first and then the amendment second, right?
No, if the amendment fails, then you're back to the main motion. I mean, that's the Robert's rule. All right? So everybody understand that it is the amendment that we're voting on. Yes would be to amend his motion, which would be then it would become the main motion, I guess, and voted again. But it would be to send it back to the finance. No would be to reject the amendment and go back to the original motion. Commissioner Hooker.
Again, I'm wanting to make sure that Commissioner Boutwell is saying this in his amendment because I think you've left out the second half that he edited. So will it come back on the agenda automatically in the June commission meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm wanting to make sure you understand that that's what the amendment would be.
It will come back from the Finance Committee to the June meeting, and they can recommend, not recommend, or just pass.
Yeah, but if this fails, then we're back to the main motion, okay? So yes would be to accept the amendment, no would be to go back to the main motion. Everybody understand that? Commissioner Maddox?
Just to be 100% clear. Thank you, Commissioner. This resolution, as it is written tonight, will come back to this body in June to be voted on.
Yes.
If you approve the amendment, correct. Okay? Commissioner Mark
And just
Thomas.
to clarify what you said, it should come back with a physical note. What is the true cost of doing this? That's the way I understand it.
That's what he said.
So we're in agreement that it would come back to the June meeting, and with that would be, whether a recommendation or not from the Finance Committee, it would come back with a fiscal note projection for your consideration. Do we agree with that? Again, yes, sir.
I'm just going to spit this out to the air. I would, if that is the case, I would just want that recommendation to be very detailed because there's a lot of analytics that's already gone into this. And there's a lot of numbers. I could keep y'all for another 20 minutes reciting numbers we've already talked about. So in my mind, I'm a little concerned. I could probably read the writing on the wall, but I understand where we are in this process. But I just hope that due diligence is placed on this process to make sure that a detailed report comes back to this body.
Right, now the motion was for the finance director, not the mayor's office, to put the fiscal note together. Yes? It's not mine. It's
That's correct.
Right, okay. All right.
And I just want to reiterate, I'm all for helping the senior citizens and those that need the tax freeze. I'm all for that. And as long as whatever's reasonable, I mean, any good citizen would, not disagree with it. I'm all for it. So I just want to, I'm not trying to kill the thing. I'm trying to just get through the budget process correctly.
Okay, so now we're voting on the amendment. Everybody is as good as they're going to be on the amendment, right? So if you vote yes, you're for the amendment. If you vote no, you're not for the amendment and you wish to be back to the original motion. Okay, so when your name's called, vote for or against.
Commissioner Anderson,
No.
Commissioner Boutwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyette,
Yes.
Commissioner Brothers,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Epperson,
No.
Commissioner Farrer, Commissioner Hooker,
No.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Maddox,
No.
Commissioner Neely,
No.
Commissioner Pinson, Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
No.
Commissioner Vick,
Yes.
Commissioner Yaki. Does anyone wish to change your vote? 10 ayes, 8 noes.
Okay, so the amendment passed. Now, Mr. Parliamentarian, do we have to vote now on that it's become the main motion?
It has become the main motion, and it's already passed. So the amendment becomes the main motion, and it's passed.
And that vote counts for the pass, so we're ready to move on. All right. Next item on the agenda, then, nothing to report from Public Safety, nothing from Courthouse and Property, Financial Management Committee, the quarterly financials.
Move to approve.
All right, got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next, Highway Department permit guidelines.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. We're open for discussion. This is the Highway Department's guidelines. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then the last item under financial management, 250th Independence Day firework expansion. They had asked for $15,000. They'd come before the Finance Committee. We already budget 9, and so that's where the 6 comes in. So the motion or the recommendation of the Finance Committee was to add 6 more thousand to the 9 to grant the 15 for the 250th fireworks at the.
I'll make that motion, but that comes out of the tourism.
The 9, I don't think is budgeted that way, but the 6 would come out of, the hotel motel economic fund. So was there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, so a motion is second. We're open for discussion about that. Yeah, Commissioner Epperson.
Oh, I know we used to do 5,000 for that with the city, so how long have we been doing the 9?
We're going to have to ask the finance director because I didn't know what the number was till that day when we were talking, but according to, I believe Lori said that we had been budgeting 9 for fireworks each year. Do you want to come to the podium? Is that acceptable?
I don't know the exact time, but it's been several years that we've had that.
I didn't remember that coming before us, but
I actually thought it was before me as well. I don't remember.
would have been before me then.
I'm just saying, I don't remember it since I've been here either. I didn't know what the number was. So, but currently it is 9 that's budgeted, and 6 would get to the 15, which is what they were asking for. So we got a motion and a second. Any other comments? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And
I'm opposed.
oh, you're opposed to it. Okay. So 1 no. Okay. Anybody else that I missed or overlooked? Okay. All right. Then I don't think we have anything other business. Again, I apologize for the error on having to suspend the rules. Under announcements, Commissioner Pinson?
Yes, I just want to make an announcement that the Bedford County is doing a time capsule celebrating America's 250th anniversary. Down in the lobby is a display, and I'm asking everyone to take a submission application, an information package, and take a view of the time capsule. And in the packet gives you all the directions and suggestions of what you can put into the time capsule. Thank you.
Right, and there you're particularly looking for communities and things of preservation, correct?
Current history, things going on now. In 50 years, they'll open this up.
Right.
So,
I probably won't be here. All right. I want to announce we do have a budget study session. We're going to do it at 5 o'clock on the 26th of May. So that's after the regular Finance Committee meeting this coming. So there'll be the first chance for us to openly talk about it. We'll get the books to you right away after that. I'll hand deliver them to you if we need to. And then we'll have obviously another study session beyond that as well, at a minimum. So, Commissioner Maddox.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to take a moment just to say kudos to the Elections Office, Summer Leverett. Obviously, we just went through the primary. I was fortunate enough to make it through the primary. Thank you to the folks of District 1. But I wanted just to pause and give a sincere kudos to her and to that office. They are always the utmost professional, the poll workers, all the volunteers. Just very thankful for that group of folks that volunteer their time, and of course Summer and her team that make every election easy. Much appreciation goes to her.
Thank you. Anyone else before we adjourn? All right, motion to adjourn? See.